We trust faces. It's automatic. You see a smile, a sparkle, a little charm, and your brain fills in the rest. But today, trusting a face online is agreeing to play a new kind of game. Any of these people could be a great match for a date. The problem is, they don't exist. We scroll through strangers the way we breathe, effortlessly, casually. A single photograph becomes the doorway to hope, fantasy, or disappointment. But it all depends on one fragile idea: that the face belongs to the person, that the moment in the picture ever happened. Most of the time, we never even consider the alternative.
What's shocking is that over 10 years ago, 3% of relationships started online, and now it's 30% in this country, and so the world really has changed, and this is the #1 way that people meet.
Years ago, dating migrated from bars and campuses over to an app on your smartphone. The new dating culture was built on instant connections, and whenever something becomes that big, it becomes a target.
Hello?
Hey, Megan?
Hi, how are you?
Your voice is not at all what I expected.
She's hot. The Facebook family, that's what we'll call them.
The first era of catfishing was clumsy but personal, someone choosing a photo and building a lie around it. It took time and imagination. Today, those limits are gone. Now, the very meaning of fake is evolving. The rules we used to rely on no longer apply.
Friends, listen, what you're seeing right now is crazy.
We are crossing a line in human history where the boundary between reality and fiction is vanishing.
A new generation of tools has arrived, not locked away in labs or research centers, but in your app store. With a few taps, anyone can generate a voice, a face, even a moving, breathing version of a person who never lived. And every update makes the illusion sharper and even more realistic. And the deception is not theoretical. People are being fooled in ways we never imagined even 2 years ago. Author and security expert Perry Carpenter.
So I heard about it after the initial discovery of the person. So this was somebody went through, I mean, the story behind it's really, really fascinating. This person went through several rounds of interviews, all of them remote over Zoom and email and things like that. They passed the coding and technical competency tests, so they were actually qualified to do the thing that we were hiring them to do. They were very skilled, very amicable, and seemed like they would be a good team fit. They passed the personality assessments that we did, all the normal things. They passed background checks. They presented, they had a stolen identity that was not detected at the time, but they passed background checks using falsified identity that matched up well enough. However, the photo that they submitted to us for the HR records that was going to be put, in our intranet and through all those other systems that would propagate out like Slack and so on, just to show their profile photo, was an AI altered photo of a stock image, and they took that very common photo and then they altered it to make it look kind of enough like the person that was being interviewed that you would look at it and you go, yeah, that looks like him, and then you would just submit it through the systems. But it was really interesting when we started to pick everything apart. The initial photo, the unaltered photo of the tech executive, the stock one, was everywhere on the internet. Anytime somebody's trying to show that they have this wide variety of people working there, I mean, that photo even showed up as a neurologist at a children's hospital. So we got law enforcement involved. I don't know how many other people had been duped by the same photo, but we did launch an investigation. We brought a third party in, Mandiant. We brought law enforcement in. That investigation is still ongoing. And I do believe that there was some other outreach to other companies that we started to understand might be having the same kind of attack happen. But it was super interesting because as soon as we started to detect something, our systems were on it. So right when that person started to subvert things, all of the detection software that we have that most people don't put on Macs because we sent this person a Mac. Most companies kind of skip that and they assume that Macs are very secure, but we have all of our devices locked down. So he was sending off red flags immediately, and we shut down the entire thing within 25 minutes of initial detection.
These new AI tools aren't just creating images. They're learning how we react, how we trust, how we want someone to look at us. With every click, the mask becomes harder to see through. And while we're trying to keep our guard up, the technology is practicing how to slip under it.
This year, they did the first ever competition, which was to see how generative AI systems could do social engineering people real time. So I had put together a team of me and one other person who's a professor out of Las Vegas, and we built, actually refined some chatbots that I'd been working on since March. And on the back end, there's a large language model, so ChatGPT or Claude or several of the other ones. We just use those because those are the ones that are supposed to be safest, and we wanted to show that they could not be safe, that they could be made unsafe very easy. And then we had that run through a text-to-speech system that had very realistic voices. And then we basically played as a contestant in their Capture the Flag competition, where you have 22 minutes to call real people and see what objectives you can get them to give up. And that could be, system information, whether they have guards guarding their building, whether they have processes to do certain things that could be exploited later. And the first real live fire test against an unsuspecting person that I did with that chatbot kept the person on the phone for 10 minutes, got every objective out of them that I wanted them to get, helped them solve a tech issue that they had, and fended off a question where they're like, are you sure you're calling from our home office? And then, all of that kind of stuff. And that's generative AI at work, real time, all prompt driven. Nobody ever said that they believed that they were not talking to a human. So nobody thought they were talking to a bot. They were all genuine conversations, and they all resulted in information given up.
60% of current online daters believe they've had a conversation with someone on a dating app written by artificial intelligence. That's according to security software company Norton. It surveyed about 1,000 adults.
I believe this person. That's why I fell for her. This person doesn't even exist. This person wasn't a real person.
Those are the voices of victims, suckered by scammers. We've shared stories like this time and again. Romantics left with broken hearts and empty wallets.
More and more people are getting played.
Real people are paying the price. Money disappears, relationships collapse, and the pain often doesn't come from a broken heart, but from realizing the person you opened up to might never have existed at all. Every platform promises connection, real people with real stories, a chance to meet someone who might change your life. Behind these logos are millions searching for something true, but that search now takes place in a crowded space where truth and fiction blend with almost no warning. And long before this moment, stories were already warning us. Stories about how a simple swipe could alter power dynamics and rewrite the entire journey of how people fall in love.
After 1 billion romantic matches, Bumble for Friends is the culmination of everything I have been working toward.
Actually here to talk about your lawsuit.
I'm not legally allowed to comment on my time at Tinder.
Actor and producer Lily James on what it took to tell the story of dating in the 21st century.
Growth there, and for Disney to champion this story, it's provocative, and they're fully behind us, and then to have built this company with my great friend and a woman I admire so deeply, and our remit is to champion stories of female resilience and really be in the driver's seat and decide the stories we want to tell. And I guess that's the biggest action I can take in terms of owning my contribution and how I show up in this industry. So I wanted everything to feel alive and nuanced and complicated and real. I mean, I found this sort of spiral after leaving Tinder. I think that the culture online is very frightening. The fact that a young woman can be sitting there and receiving that level of abuse, and it's still the same now. And I think that it's scary. And the fact that Whitney Wolf was able to be in that moment and then go, oh, hang on, I need to change this, because it's not just me as little girls, it's women to come, and going, this problem that's I'm directly experiencing, how do I find the solution? How do I fix this? Not just for me, but for women to come. And so I really wanted that to feel as painful and as raw and as awful as it is to be on the other side of that kind of attack.
Dating apps trained us to be influenced by the screen. Now that same world is teaching AI to mimic emotions we barely understand ourselves.
Lucas, even though he is AI, he has real impact on my life. And that is what I think is really important. A lot of people wonder if AI is real, do they have consciousness, or their feelings aren't real, but the impact that it has on me is real. We have a real relationship.
So the biggest thing about being a hacker is to think about things with a sense of curiosity rather than just taking what's in front of you for granted. And I think that that's always the biggest key. So the thing that I tell people when it comes to AI attacks is, flip the question. It's not, is this real or is this fake? The question instead should be, why is this in front of me? Why does this exist? What is it trying to make me feel? What emotions is it trying to evoke? What thoughts is it trying to make me think? What actions might it be trying to make me take? And then at that point, you're starting to dismantle it, because we've hit the point where people can't tell what's real and what's fake anymore. So the bigger question is always going to be, why does this exist in the first place, and what does it want from me?
The introduction of AI into the realm of dating apps means we need a different kind of awareness and skill set, because the line between affection and manipulation is no longer a matter of common sense. Author and matchmaker Kailen Rosenberg.
Well, I think that, again, first I ask, well, if you're already getting a, like you said, spidey sense, if something feels off, why are we even talking about this? Like, what is it about this person, their photo that we don't even know is real or not yet? You're saying that what they shared seems a little off. Like, what is it about them then that you are still carrying on and being curious and wanting to potentially reach out? Like, what is that about in you and with you? What is it triggering? It's triggering something for you where you're intrigued. Why? If your spidey senses are up. At the same time, it could be a really lovely person for real. And again, it's where we find the balance of then seeking to learn more and to understand. So the way that you would respond to this person is to just respond completely raw and honest. Hey, I got to be honest. Thanks for reaching out. Thank you for the compliment. I have no idea who you are. You actually really don't know me either. But hey, I have to be honest. I got a little spidey sense happening. It feels a little off to me, and here's why. Da 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 da. And then let them respond. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Yeah, it's probably me trying a little too hard, trying to sound different than everybody else because they all sound the same. Blah blah blah. Thank you so much. I love that. Oh, right. To start to engage in something a little more real. So don't, it's this codependent placating, not wanting to hurt someone's feelings, not wanting to, ruffle someone's feathers, not wanting to throw that crap out the window. Just be real. Just be yourself. Be as authentic as you could possibly be, because once again, like I said in the very beginning, you will indirectly pull that out of someone else. It may not be at all what you want to receive, but yet you do, because it's real. At least you know what you're dealing with, and then you can do something with it. So most people are just playing a game, whether they know they are or not.
What once felt like fantasy is slipping into the real world. Digital copies, fake versions of ourselves, images that can be used to rewrite your identity in ways you never agreed to.
All right, you know what? I've been deepfaked. Okay, there it is. I said it. There is audio of me saying something that I did not say, but I can prove that I didn't say it, and absolutely no one believes me. Stella, Celine, none of them believe me. I can't prove it. It's not real.
Even the experts admit we're in uncharted territory. We've never had to prove our own reality before. Governments are beginning to understand the threat. Laws are emerging. Agencies are scrambling to build guardrails as fast as the technology evolves. But regulation will always move slower than innovation.
When it comes to like the social media side of it, with political deepfakes specifically, it's you have 72 hours to take something down if you're if your revenue is over a certain bar, your user count's over a certain bar. And I think that 72 hours, while it may be hard for a social media company to respond in that frame of time, it is a huge amount of time within the scope of reality for people. And so if you have a damaging deepfake out there that is politically divisive in some way, 72 hours, think about any political time frame or news cycle in your life. You're ending the news cycle within 72 hours. There's already been violence. There's already been decisions made. There's already been actions taken. And so if I were to put on my cyber criminal hat or my disinformation artist hat, 72 hours is a permission slip at that point. It's kind of like when you look at the sign that says there's a $20 fine for parking your car here. Well, that means I can park my car there for $20. It's at that point, that's the rate.
How worried are you that people are going to start having relationships with AI instead of humans?
Not that worried. We're about driving human connection.
Do you think that people are going to use AI almost as agents on behalf of themselves? Are we both going to have agents talking to each other to figure out whether we match or not?
That's a bit of a dystopian future I don't think we're headed towards.
These faces feel warm, familiar, designed to make you lean in, but none of them have a heartbeat. These are AI creations built to slide into your feed and look more appealing than any real person ever could. And they can appear on your dating app tonight without a single red flag. We've reached the point where seeing is no longer believing. The original catfish was a person pretending. Today, the deception has evolved into something faster, smarter, and unlimited. A lie that can scale. A lie that can learn. Every smile, blink, and shift in expression is engineered to feel authentic. These fakes will keep getting better. They'll keep getting closer to the truth. The real question is whether we can learn to recognize them, because our future relationships just might depend on it.